So do either of you have any further client stories that you can share? Anything in specific that comes to mind? John?
Lately after COVID, I've been getting a lot of phone calls, and normally people that I've met with in the past that were uh, pretty strong individuals, and the pandemic seems to have broken them. And I've got one individual who was in a proposal and was coming along just fine, and the pandemic hit. Had to give up his apartment because he lost his job, and he was just living, not knowing where he was going to fund his living expenses going forward. And he was in a proposal. He didn't want to lose the proposal either. So we got in and we basically amended the proposal form and got him something that he could probably afford going forward. But I'm seeing a lot of are just primarily because of job loss and the reduction in income due to the whole pandemic, and that is obviously leading to some mental anguish. And you're seeing people that you would normally think were okay break down and just kind of not know where to turn.
Now, did you find that once you got through that process with your client and got them into an amended proposal that was more manageable, did you notice a marked difference, in their attitude, their demeanor?
Yeah, that, and it's almost like he just needed someone to unload on, I guess, just to speak to. And the first couple conversations were just kind of trying to reassure people and let them know, hey, look, you know, your financial well-being is not, it's important, but it's not the end of the world. We can help you work through this. So, don't do anything drastic, or don't, just stay focused and focus on the things in life that are important, such as, your physical well-being, and the financial aspect. We can take care of that through the proposal or something in the BIA.
Exactly. Randy, how about you? What are you finding?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different stories, and I was just thinking the other day about one in particular that her name is Deb. Deb's challenges started well before COVID. She wasn't able to work due to disability, so she lost her job, did qualify, thankfully, for a disability support income. But really didn't have anybody to talk to, right? So, and I really agree with John's comments there about having somebody to talk to unload things on, because it only goes so far with your spouse, your partner, right? So then you need somebody to, with critical thinking, right, that to bounce things off of and offer other solutions, right? So one thing led to another with Deb. Her husband lost her job during the early part of the pandemic, and of course did qualify for recovery benefits, but didn't allow them to keep their home. So unfortunately, they lost their home. They were one of the unlucky ones where they did not receive a mortgage deferral. Either it was started too early in the process or whatever the reasoning. So they lost their home to foreclosure. It was taken over by Canada Mortgage and Housing, CMHC, and there was an $80,000 shortfall, and they said, we want our money. So so a garnishment served on her bank account, and that would have been obviously devastating had she done nothing else. So that's when I got involved, and just hearing them out, her and her husband, was relieving for them, having somebody to bounce things off of. And she was, I have to admit, she was extremely skeptical, saying, how are you going to be able to help me? Nobody else has, right? So we started off by kind of breaking her situation into little pieces, right? Into manageable parts, right? So starting with the financial component, but also I firmly believe, when I talk to any of my prospective clients, that any financial solution isn't going to work unless you also resolve the non-financial issues, right? So we came up with the consumer proposal for her to settle with her creditors, which CMHC and her other creditors ultimately accepted. And we also worked through, and I provided some advice on places that she could go and talk to deal with the non-financial challenges, right? So, and then she felt like she was empowered once she had the financial issues dealt with, that she could take on the non-financial stressors head on, right? So I said, just by themselves, they look huge, right? They look unmanageable, but break them into small manageable parts. And once there's something you can manage, you can control them, right? So, and that's exactly what she did. And she said, you know, she's left us a review saying, look, we saved her life, right? Literally, right? And so, I mean, those are the rewarding aspects of our jobs as LITs. And I think you guys would agree, right? So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a similar story out of my office as well, where the debtor was just so overwhelmed with everything going on in their life. The financial part was a fairly large component. And as soon as we had a plan to deal with the financial component, and she knew that she had the ability to then concentrate on the other things. She already had in place the resources that she needed to deal with those other issues that were going on. But she was so blinded by her financial difficulties that it was becoming very difficult for her to focus. So again, you know, we were able to help her resolve the situation of her financial difficulty. Was she happy that she had to do what she did? No. But she had already done everything she possibly could on her own to deal with it and was backed into a corner. So we were her last resort, and that's fine. She exhausted every other avenue. We got it dealt with, and she moved on. And to hear her just be thankful that, you know, for that ability to focus on the other things that needed to be dealt with to help her with her overall physical and mental well-being, it left me feeling at the end of the day that, you know what, I helped someone today, and maybe I helped that someone stay on this side of the ledge and not falling on the other side of the ledge. So it was pretty awesome.